Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is the Jarl Steinfox. Um, I know I haven't technically planned a live stream, but I saw something the other day on Odyssey. I saw someone talking about it. I don't know who it was again, but someone in the more alt right traditional spheres, um, about the topic of passport bros, because apparently that is a hot topic at the moment. Um, for those of you that don't know what a passport bro is, um, let me just share my screen real quick. So, passport bros are men who seek out foreign women, typically from other countries, for relationships. They believe that Western women have been influenced by cultural and societal pressures to behave in a certain way, and by seeking out foreign women, they can find a more authentic, fulfilling, and harmonious relationship. This is, yeah, it's kind of true. This is not um, solely what it is. This is not um, entirely true. It's a little more nuanced because it has mostly to do with, well, let's just say, left leaning feminist type women. They believe that they don't need a man and they can do everything that a man can do. So those are not the type of women that will go on dating. um Sorry, I'm still sharing this around. I totally forgot to do that. um Sorry about this. But yeah, so the more feminist type of woman, left leaning type of woman that you see nowadays, like, she is not interested in dating. She's not interested in dating men, especially because, ooh, men, toxic, and all of that. So, but for the more conservative, traditional men, like, they are still looking to date. They still want that traditional life. They still want, wife, kids, a dog, a cat, a white picket fence. The basic stuff, um, which is nothing unusual. It's nothing that you shouldn't want. Like, even, what, 10 years ago, that was considered normal, but now apparently it's toxic, and it's not something that you should want, and toxic masculinity and blah 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 blah, that kind of bullshit. um so what those men looking for a more traditional women will do is go to the countries where those women still live, where the girls and the women are raised to be traditional, where they are raised to, still do things for their man, not because it is expected of them or whatever, but simply because of, if you take care of your man will take care of you. It's literally as easy as that. So yeah, those men, they will go to Eastern Europe. They will go to, the Asian countries, Thailand, Vietnam, those kind of countries, because that is where the more traditional women, where the more traditional household still exists, where it is still a thing. And apparently this is a incredibly hot topic at the moment, because like they're getting all kinds of accusations. Oh, it's just human trafficking. It's, because those women are poor and they don't speak English. And yeah, because English is such a, great language. Not everybody gets taught English. But, then if you look on the social media websites, if you look on Twitter, on TikTok, on Facebook, on whatever, a lot of those women, they do speak English. Many do. It's actually the second most spoken language in the world. And yes, even in Asia, people do speak English. They do get taught English. So, that is nonsense. That's bullshit. It's not about that. And oh, they're poor. No, not all of them. I mean, sure, some may be less fortunate, if you will, but that doesn't mean that they're just dating these Western men for their money. Don't get me wrong, some do. There are definitely women who do, and there are definitely men who go to those countries with, let's just say, less than good intention. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they're all innocent, but to say that it is all about that, that's no, then you're putting those women down. Then you're basically saying that those women are lesser. And like, what happened to girl power? What happened to girl bossing? Oh, women got to stand together and all of that. So I thought I'd just, do a quick live stream, give you my 2 cents on this hot topic of the day. Why I think I'm qualified for that? Well, first of all, I'm a man. I can, I think I can speak for a lot of other men. I am in a long distance relationship, so I know how it is like. I do consider myself to be more traditional, or at least more in favor of a traditional relationship, traditional marriage. I'm going to say conservative or whatever. I don't want to, put any political labels on it. But yeah, so, and even if you just look here in the Netherlands where I live, a lot of mixed couples, and especially, like, this was a hot thing in the Netherlands. This was a big thing in the Netherlands, in the, let's say, the 70s, 80s, 1970s, 1980s. We used to import a lot of workers, a lot of people from Turkey, from, I don't know, Greece, Spain, whatever, cheap labor, basically. And they stuck around, and they, either got their families here, moved their families over here if they had a family back in Turkey, if they had a family back in Spain or Greece or whatever. The Dutch government made sure that it would be possible for them to move here as well. But the Netherlands also has had a lot of colonies. It's a dark spot on Dutch history. Indonesia, for example, used to be part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Suriname, or Dutch Guinea, used to be part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. So when those countries gained their independence, a lot of them came here, and a lot of them still do. And what ends up happening, they, like, very often will marry someone Dutch. Why? Well, first of all, because it's easier. It's easier to integrate into a country. It's easier to become a citizen of the country in all aspects if you marry someone who actually is from there. And Dutch man, European man, I mean, we are quite handsome. We're tall, we're blonde, we're usually muscular or just athletically built. So I mean, just ask Fireface, she'll tell you. So a lot of Dutch men have fought in the Indies, where they met women who they fell in love with and got kids with. I know so many people who have mixed heritage, who have partial Indonesian heritage. My ex, for example, the mother of my kids, she has part Indonesian heritage from her, I believe, her grandfather's or her grandmother's side. So even my kids are partially Indonesian, very watered down, but still. My gym buddy, Lodewijk, he has partial Indonesian heritage. My best friend from when I was a kid, who like literally lived right around the corner from me, he was Indonesian, but they moved here, and no, come to think of it, he was mixed as well. Like, his mother was Indonesian, his dad was Dutch. So it's really not uncommon. It's really not that weird. So I don't get what the issue is now. Like, it's something of all ages. I mean, yeah, sure, back in history, how far back how far back you want to go, that's entirely up to you. We quite literally just raided the villages and took all the pretty fertile women and girls with us. I mean, that is kind of human trafficking, prisoners of war. But still, it's a thing of all ages. It's nothing new. But the thing is, the most funny thing about it is how outraged these feminists are about this. On the one hand, they keep telling everybody over and over and over again, I don't need a man. I am my own woman. I am my own person. I can make my own money. And then, when a passport bro, I fucking hate that name, by the way, passport bro. Come on. When he goes to Thailand, when he goes to Vietnam, when he goes to Southern America, if he, likes a little more spice, or South America, not Southern America, South America. Um, beautiful women over there. Or Eastern Europe. If you have a thing for European women, I don't see why you wouldn't. Eastern Europe is a good place to find those more traditional women. But then those feminists get so mad. It's like, but okay, then what do you want? Then what is he supposed to do? What is that man supposed to do? You're not going to date him. You're not going to be a good woman to him. I mean, heck, I've seen women literally say, you know, if they like, they have a list of their demands of what a man should do, what a man should have, 6 foot tall, basically a millionaire, or has to make at least like 250,000 a year, because that seems like a good salary, that seems like not too hard. Bitch, fucking please. um has to drive a good car, do this and that, fucking laundry list. And it's like, okay, but then what are you bringing to the table? Oh, he's getting me. Yeah, okay, I got that much. But if he has to do and has to be and has to have all of that, then what are you doing for him? Oh, nothing. What am I bringing to the table? I'm not bringing anything to the table. I'm not a server. I'm not a waitress. If he wants some woman to bring him something to the table, he can go to IHOP. He can go to whatever freaking restaurant you can think of. And it's like, I don't. And this is by the way, this is, I mean, paraphrasing, but this is something that I've actually heard a woman say. If he wants if he wants to be served, if he wants to be served by a woman, he can go to IHOP. If he wants a woman to bring something to the table, he can go to IHOP. But then her list of demands is this laundry list of just things that are never going to happen, things that you will never find in a man. And I am in a long distance relationship myself. It's hard. I'm in a long distance relationship with an American woman, and I have been lucky enough that, I mean, Firefly is not entirely traditional, but she does do things for me. She understands that, that a relationship comes from two sides. That if she wants something, then I can bring it to her. Yeah, oh God. Like, those are the worst. Feminist pagans, that is so contradictory to each other. Paganism is a traditional form of worship. It is a traditional form of living. It is, it's literally the traditional way. It's the way of nature. Oh, that's women. Gotta love them, but some, um, yeah. I mean, we are living in a very feminized society. Even our men are not allowed to be men anymore. And you see that with the passport bros, for example, it's like they just want to be men. They want to be masculine. They want to take care of somebody. That's all we want to do. That's all most men are looking for in a relationship. Relationship. English is not my first language. um, we're looking for someone to love. We're looking for someone that we hopefully hate him can start a family with, and just we're looking for someone that can bring out the best in us. So if you are telling us over and over again that, oh no, that is toxic, you can't be a protector because I'm perfectly able of protecting myself. Are you though? I'm sure some women are. I'm sure they are capable of protecting themselves, but the way I see it from a more traditional standpoint, yeah, I mean, and he was a fruit and a half. Like Freddie Mercury was a fruit and a half. I mean, he was bisexual, but I believe, leaning more towards men. But I mean, dude, like even he had a more traditional point of. Oh, someone. Sorry, this is just me doing it. This is not even my cast. Um, but the way that I see it, the way that I see traditional relationship is that the man is supposed to take care of his woman and of the kids. He's the protector. He's the provider. He makes sure that his woman, that his wife, that his kids will never have to ask for anything because they already have it, because it's already provided for. The woman's task in a relationship, and this is not me being sexist and whatever. This is just how I see it. This is how traditional relationships work. The woman in the relationship takes care of her man, make sure that he is cared for, make sure that he is loved, and takes care of the kids and of the household. She is in charge of the household. She is the center of the house. She is the hearth, the heart, the hearth. And a man's job is to make sure that she can be. But now, with what are we on? Third wave feminism, fourth wave feminism, fifth, sixth, how many more are there to come? I don't even know. Women don't need us anymore, apparently, because they can all do that themselves. But then by the time they're 40 and they have that career and they have a big house and money in the bank and whatever, they're lonely. And they're like, oh, I spent all my best years, my 20s, when I should be living, my 30s, the most fertile period of my life, late 20s, early 30s, the most fertile period of any woman's life. I spent it working, gaining a fortune, working myself up in, society, girl bossing. And yeah, then they're 40 and they're lonely and they'll just, take a dog and a vibrator. And it's like, okay, well, this is my life now, I guess. And they're unhappy as fuck. But then in their, it's sad. I mean, yeah, that they do too. Unfortunately, that is also the thing in the Western world. This is something that um I can speak of as well, especially in the court system, in the legal system. Family cases, when it comes to divorce or if there are kids involved. I'm unfortunately wrapped up in a case of that myself. As a man, you are starting at a 3 point disadvantage, and you'll have to work twice as hard for half the result. Which is another reason that a lot of men, a lot of Western men, choose not to marry a Western woman because it is profitable for those women to have a kid with them, have multiple kids with them, and then divorce them. Why? Because then the man, the kids, basically, which is the worst part of all, the kids become their income because, oh, I have kids with you. Now I want alimony. And even though I'm not doing anything for you anymore and I have a new boyfriend or a new John or a new lover or whatever the fuck, every weekend or every other weekend, you are their baby daddy and it is your job to provide for me. So, yeah, it's no wonder that so many men will get their passport, get a plane ticket, and fly out to the countries where, girls from a young age still get taught, okay, if your man provides for you, then you should be providing for your man. Yeah, you're a kitty. I have to provide for you too, because you're a lousy hunter. And so, and like, I've even seen on the social platforms, like there are women, Western women, who are traditionally minded, and they will post about it, and they will share their life. No, oh, I wake up at, I don't know, 6 a.m. to provide lunch and, or breakfast and lunch for my husband and our kids. Feminist women, they get off on those women. It's like, why are you doing that? He can do that himself. This is slavery. And it's like, no, they are choosing to do that. Why? Because they love their man and because they understand that a relationship works two ways. The man provides for them and they provide for the man, just in different ways. And this is something that I've always told Firefay and that I am going to keep telling her until the day we die. And then when we reincarnate again and be together again, I will tell her once more, I only want you to work because you want to, not because you have to. If you want to make your own money, go right ahead. If that is what you want, if that is, something that you want to do, if it's your own business, if it's your own thing, or even just a job that you really like, go right ahead. But only because you want to, not because you have to or we have to, because otherwise there's not enough money coming in. That's my job as the man. It's my job as the head of the household. Um, this is a really good comment. I've met so many women who are angry that I don't get aroused by their bank account and their job. They mistakenly think men want from women what they want from men. I've seen that too. A woman who has a good job, has a big car, a lot of money in the bank, but is a very, very much a alpha woman, and she is just like crying and going off like, why can't I find a man? It's like, because you're acting like a man. And most men are not looking to marry another man, even, if it is a woman. It's just like, but it just, it doesn't register with those women. So yeah, then of course you're gonna get the thing like passport bros, and they're gonna go to those traditional countries and either move there, because face it, the quality of life here in Europe, even in Eastern Europe, where it's maybe not as good as Western Europe. It's been a while since I've visited any Eastern European country. I can't say for sure. Or Asia, where as a Western man you are just like, oh, big white man. You're revered as a god, basically. And even with the currency, if you look at the like the conversion rate, your dollar or your euro, no matter how weak the coins or how destabilized those coins may be right now, in countries like Thailand, in countries like China, in countries like Vietnam, even with your basic European, basic Western salary, let's say, 40 hours a week, I don't know, 2,500, 3,000 a month, fucking rich over there. Because everything is a lot cheaper and it is a lot easier to get and it is a lot easier to find. And so, combine that with women who are more traditionally minded, who still feel like they have to take care of their men. The man provides for them, then they should take care of their men and of the kids and all of that. Comes with, I have been fortunate enough before I settled down with Firefay that I have dated various kinds of women, mostly European or of European descent. But honestly, Eastern European women, they are beautiful. Asian women, I don't really have a thing for Asians. No offense, just not my taste. But some of them are absolutely gorgeous. So, can you blame a man? He sees a beautiful woman in a country where it is much cheaper to live. She's traditionally minded. Of course he's gonna go over there. What else is he gonna do? Just turn into some Reddit incel and complain like, oh, women don't want me? No, because, they're too busy girl bossing and whatever. It's turned into a bit of a rant. I'm so sorry about that. I didn't mean to. But it's something that, like, I can't do modern day society. I can't have it. I can't handle it. That's why I just, do what I do to make a living. And, I don't really socialize much outside. I have a couple friends. I have um, a good bond with my next door neighbor. We've both been professional chefs, professional cooks for years. Um, yeah, yeah, that's basically it. Living in the new world with an old soul. I mean, I feel like, for example, when I watch shows like Mad Men, I have binged watched Mad Men, which is like, when does that play? Like the 1920s, 1930s, or something. Not gonna say it's the ideal time period, but women didn't walk around half naked with their ass shaken, yelling, "Yath, queen, girl boss." I've been saying girl boss way too much for my liking. Um, Men weren't absolute scumbags or incels, because like nowadays it seems like either you're one or the other. Either you're Jordan Peterson, who is somewhat traditionally minded, but I'd say more leaning towards incel, or you are um God, what's the other guy's name? The Alpha Academy, the guy who got arrested. Anyway, that dude. You know who I mean. It's the one guy that I never get his name right. The one who got arrested. I'm gonna have to look it up. His brother Tristan arrested in Romania. Tate. Andrew Tate. That was him. One name I always seem to forget. It's funny though. Speaking of Eastern Europe, speaking of Andrew Tate, he purposefully moved to Romania and did his dirty business there because the police are easier to bribe. That says so much about Eastern Europe, that life is just easier there, especially if you have a bit of money. You know? And it's just, and like in Eastern Europe, to be seen as wealthy, it's not that hard. Things are a lot cheaper there. Like even Greece, like my parents and my sister, they went on holiday in Greece, and like it's so much cheaper there. And even Greece, even the Mediterranean countries, still more traditionally minded. They are fiery, though. Spanish women, Italian women, Portuguese, the more Romanized countries, they are fiery. They are beautiful. They are traditional. A lot of them, not all of them, but they're fiery. Yeah, I'm not saying he's a good guy, but I've said this before on I believe on a live stream or a podcast, that I don't agree with his business, being an OnlyFans pimp and all of that. I do not agree with it. But, the things that he says, the things that he does in this society, I can understand why he is, why a lot of young men, why a lot of younger boys gravitate towards him. Because, he is saying the exact same things that, I am now. Feminism, bad, just traditional. That's the way to go. It's just, he doesn't really back it up. He exploits women, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's another thing, unfortunately, in the whole manosphere, specifically. There is a lot of truth in what is being said there, but at the same time, it is becoming incredibly toxic, unfortunately. Um, because so many of them are just grifters. They're out for the money. That they have this, I don't know, like Alpha University, Alpha Academy, or like that. That might just be like a WWE tag team. I don't know. They're grifters, and they speak that truth, or those kernels of truth, to get people in. But it is kind of society's fault, the very feminized society, that they are able to do that in the first place. Because if there were still healthy relationships between men and women, if we still like actually knew our place in society, in traditional society, pagan society, um, then none of these people, would have had that cloud that they have. And that's the sad thing about it. It's, yeah, yeah, no, this is very much true. Get the women on the work floor, so so that the government will raise your kids, because hey, you don't have time, you gotta work, prove your worth in society, because only if you have a job, then you mean something. And even that way of thinking has persevered for so long. It's why streamers, professional streamers or podcasters or whatever, something that I aspire to be, that I aspire to do on a professional level. If I can do this, make my money with it, make a good life with it, I would. That's why I am streaming right now, and it's why I was doing like double podcasts the other day. It's why, what up, Franklin? Why I do those roundtable podcasts, to connect with people, to get our voices heard, to get my voices heard, and also I'm not afraid to admit this, to get people to visit my channel, whether that be on YouTube, on Twitch, our website. It doesn't matter. Like, this is what I want to do. But at the same time, if I were to make my money with this, then I would get the constant comments of, get a real job. But so what is a real job? Because influencer, streamer, podcaster, it's 2023. These are real jobs now. And I could go on and on about that too, going into the whole e-girl, OnlyFans, Twitch bathtub streamers thing. I'll save that for like a part 2 of this. I have to pack some stuff in a bit. I got training tonight, jujitsu. So I'll save that for another time. But society has feminism, Marxism, communism. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's nothing good about it. And that's like socialism. Oh yeah, no, it does work. We just never really tried. Have we, though? Because we tried so many times. It always ended up in starvation and all the power in the hands of the government. I mean, of course they were allowed to study. I mean, who was that? Wasn't that? I believe it was Zaralath, or like one of my recent guests, who was talking about Or was that, I don't know, that was that may have been I don't know, one of my recent guests. Um, that there were entire women groups who preserved knowledge, who were in control of knowledge, who were the keepers of that knowledge. Women have always played a vital role in society. I mean, look at ancient Rome, look at the Vestal Virgins, the keeper of the sacred fire. And they were literally virgins, for life. And they were so important for the temple, for the gods, for the religion, for the Romans as a whole. And they were all women. High priestesses, it's just like basically in religion, which has turned very much into a male thing as well. Women were so important. They were so incredibly important. The only reason why the Virgin Mary, or no, Mary Magdalene, that's a different one. Both named Mary. Imagine, hey mom, met a girl. Oh, cute. What's her name? Mary. We gotta talk. Oh boy, if Freud were alive back then, he would have a field day. But she was not a whore. That's just something that I believe she was conflated or like mixed in with another persona and basically made into a whore by the church because women can't have power unless you're like the mother of Jesus, and then still you're less important because it's all about God, it's all about Jesus, it's all about the disciples, and Mary is still all about men. Really doesn't help either. Oh God, it comes from so many sides. Just like that's why I love paganism. That's why I love the pagan community. We honor our women. We see the strength in our women. We acknowledge the power in our women. Also sprach Zarathustra. Yeah. Nietzsche. Speaking of incels. 3 Marys even. Yeah. That wouldn't surprise me. Triple goddess. Yeah. Princess, queen, crone, mother, maiden, crone. Yeah. That would not surprise me at all. Christianity basically is pagan. How dare I? Easy. Christianity is basically pagan. Sue me. Crucify me. I'll go down a martyr. Sorry, don't know where that came from. But anyway, it's sad to see where society has gone. And I gotta say, for all men out there who are looking for a traditional woman, fuck it. Become a passport bro. Get your passport, get a ticket, come to Europe, come back to the motherland. Or, if you like smaller women, because hey, then everything looks bigger, if you know what I mean. Go to Asia. They love a white man there. We're big, we're tall, we're strong, we're wealthy for Asian standards. Just do it. Don't let. Oof. I'm not sure if you want a Valkyrie, bro. They will eat you alive. No shame whatsoever. Get yourself a shield maiden, and then see if a Valkyrie is really what you want. I guess I can like kind of end on shield maidens, keeping within the uh, pagan vibe, pagan sphere, because I have to leave in a bit. But that's another thing. Like they're even projecting it in history. They're telling us that shield maidens, female warriors. Yeah, they were a thing. They were definitely a thing. There were definitely female warriors. If you look at throughout history, there have always been female warriors. Jeanne d'Arc, to name a very prevalent, very well-known um, example from old Europe, old France, burned on the stake as a witch. She might have actually been, if you look at the stories and all, she might have actually been a witch. Oh god, yeah. See, that's another thing that they do too. They project it into history. That's exactly what I was saying. You know, and if a man, for example, was buried in, you know, finer clothing, the finer things to wear, and all of that, then, oh, he must have been a transgender and all of that. And it's like, no, 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 fuck, come on. I mean, yes, of course, even back in history, there were more feminized men and more masculine women. There will always be a thing, that has always been a thing. That's not going to change. But don't project it into history. Like I said, with the shield maidens, they were not as prevalent as you may have thought. Because if the men go out to raid, go out to plunder, to trade, to drive politics and whatever, because that they were more political pirates, if you will. That's a thing now. I'm making it a thing. Political pirates. It wasn't just we're gonna go somewhere, we're gonna raid, burn the place down, get all the virgins, get out. If you do that enough, you don't have any places to raid left. What they would do is they would go somewhere, and yes, of course, fear tactics were being used. We still do. But the people there were always given a choice. Either you give us what we want, we'll leave you alone. And if you don't, that's on you, and we're just going to take it. So try and stop us. But if the men were doing that, if the men were going out to raid, who takes care of the kids? Who takes care of the farm? Who takes care of the lands? Who makes sure that back home, everything is still going? Society is still running. That was on women. Viking is a verb. Yeah, to Viking, to go Viking, to go pirating, basically. And so, yeah, women had a lot of power in those days. Why? Well, because they pretty much ruled the place for entire seasons, for entire raiding seasons. If the men were going out, getting riches, finding new lands, doing all of that, and you have to keep the place going. The kids got to be fed, the animals got to be fed, the farm is gonna have to be upkept. Problems are still going to arise. So then who is going to be in charge? Well, the women, of course. So they are still important. But those were not girl bosses. They were strong and powerful women. but they still stood behind their man. They still took care of their man. They still, if they came back, they still took care of the wounded and the injured. They still made sure that if they were missing something because they have been away for so long, if you know what I mean, they got that too. I do imagine, like 9 months after raiding season, so many kids being born. My mind wanders sometimes. I have a dirty mind. It comes with being a man. I am not apologizing for it. But I'm just saying, there's a difference between being a strong woman who takes care of her husband, who takes care of her kids, who takes care of her hearth, her household, and being a girl boss who wants to become the CEO, who wants to climb the corporate ladder, and who will stop at nothing until she gets there. And then, as I said earlier in the stream, she's 40 years old, 45 years old. Fertility, well, basically non-existent anymore because of all the stress and the things that she had to do to make it in the corporate world. So she has money in the bank, big car, big house, a dog, a couple of cats, and a vibrator because she's so damn fucking lonely. Has it all been worth it? Doubtful. Very doubtful. And what do men do? That woman doesn't want them. Okay? There are countries, there are entire populations of still traditional women who are looking for traditional men to form a traditional household. They're going to go over there, and now they are being slandered as passport bros, human traffickers. No, they just don't want to deal with your whiny feminist, high demand ass. Okay? Your standards are unrealistic. So they're just going to go somewhere else. Do I agree with them? Yeah, I do. And I feel sorry for them. Because if that's the only option they have left, it's fucked up. But hey, it's how we made society. It's how we made ourselves to be. So, in the end, we don't have anyone else to blame but ourselves. Sometimes you get lucky and you find a wife like I found my Fire Faye, who is still more traditional, who understands that I am still more traditional. Sometimes you're not that lucky and you're going to have to go overseas. So my thoughts on passport bros. It's become necessary. I feel sorry for them, but I don't blame them. And this was supposed to be a bit of a shorter stream, but I've been on for close to an hour. Dating service. Oh yeah. I mean, I guess I can do like a pagan dating service. I already got the slogan. I've been joking with Thane Josh about that for a bit. You'll never be lonely at pagansonly.com. It hasn't yet been trademarked, but don't you fucking dare. It's my intellectual property. And Thane Josh, it's Greyhorn Pagans intellectual property. It just hasn't officially been registered yet. No, bro, I know there isn't anything else. Especially if you're looking to, date more pagans and whatever. It's especially hard because we're still a small subsection. Would be big. I know it would, bro. I know it would. Now the best thing there is like Facebook groups and whatever. And nah, man. Sure, sure. We'll just do like pagans, witches, and other. And then that can be like occultists and all those kind of people. But anyway, I gotta get going. I gotta pack my stuff. I have jiu-jitsu in a moment. Gotta keep it up. Gotta be able to protect my wife and the kids, right? So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for hearing me rant about this thing called Passport Bros for about an hour. Like I said, this was supposed to be a bit of a shorter live stream. But when my mind gets going, my mind goes as well. We can put shamans under pagans or other. It's. I'll write it out. I'll make like an early design. Now my mind is going in that direction. Stop distracting me. I'm easily distracted as is already. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening to me. Thank you for the twin blade kite the twin blade. Jesus, that's a whole lot of T's and E's and whatever. Thank you for Mr. Franklin Bush Whisperer for coming into the comments. Thank you for anyone who might be watching to this, listening to this afterwards. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave something nice in the comments. What are your thoughts on Passport Bros? What are your thoughts on feminism? Leave it in the comments. YouTube may censor, but I don't. I don't care. So even if it's way out there, even if you don't have anything nice to say, free speech. It's my show. Go right ahead. Anyway, thank you all. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe on our Twitch channel as well, twitch.tv/JarlFox. I am streaming there now too. I am going to pack my stuff. It's about 5 minutes before I have to leave, so I'm probably going to leave in 10. Skip the warm-up because it's overrated. No, it's not. Anyway, thank you all. Until next time. Yeah, go visit our website, join the Greyhorn Pagans, watch the podcast, listen to the podcast. It can all be found on the website. Buy our merch. I'm not repping our merch right now, but buy our merch. Yeah, thank you all. This has been great. Thank you for letting me speak my mind, and I will catch you all next time.